$4.2 trillion into superannuation. We don't know what to do with it anymore. There's so much. Comparatively against the stock market, the property market, even the stock market's 2.9 trillion cap. What people are doing with their super with property, we're going to tell you what we're seeing. Stay tuned.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Good morning, Josh Swapshot.
Good morning, Mark Novak. Back from the long
Guru
weekend.
salesperson, ninja,
And then that's the
man of
real
the
estate extraordinaire.
man of the people.
That's right.
How are you today? How's the long weekend?
Yeah, good. Ended up doing a bit of work over every day, but that's what keeps you up bright and happy. So yeah, it was a good long weekend. Back in the office early this morning, getting it all started for a big week. Yourself?
I went to Coffs Harbour.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. I just watched Lisa on her telephone for 6.5 hours. It was really interesting. Just sitting.
As you do, as you do.
Um, it's interesting. Beautiful place, nice and sunny. Happy birthday to the king. Um, Now, Josh, you're like we're doing a lot of sales in a lot of different areas. Fortunate for our office on the Northern Beaches. Yes, we're commercial. Yes, we're residential off the plan. Yes, we're industrial commercial off the plan. Yes, we're bread and butter real estate houses. Yes, we're bread and butter units. We sort of operate beautifully across and equally across all these different markets in the office. We're a team of 50. So we've got, bigger, like for real estate agency in Sydney, we've got sort of the bigger numbers to actually
Mm.
report back on what we're seeing. Main Street Media normally gets it after, but what are you seeing right now with people buying with super? Are you seeing any? Are you seeing a lot? What are they buying?
Yeah, I am seeing a lot. To put it this way, guys, French's Forest, you would have seen the storage and warehousing we have up there at Rodborough Road. In the last week, I've sold or taken deposits for 10 separate storage units, one warehouse, and I'm actually meeting a gentleman up there this evening for a looking at a second warehouse. So crazy when you think of it, a lot of volume. To put it in perspective, there's 150 storage units in there. So over the past week, I've sold almost 10% of their full capacity. So there's definitely been a recent jump in activity, and also people open to the fact of purchasing this in their self-managed super fund. Mark, do you want to elaborate further on that?
Is super too big? It's like $4.2 trillion. They've just, people started paying into mandatory into their superannuation, which is for their saving, for their retirement since 1992. So it's pretty much the beginning of my working career. I started in 1993. The government said, hey, put some of that money from your wage into your super. So I've been working for 32, 33 years. That's 32 years, 33 years of saving. That's a hell of a lot of money, and I don't think people have worked out how easy it is to buy a property in their super.
No, I think it is still one of those things that's hidden away, or people aren't fully educated on the idea. And it seems like they're only allowing more and more possibilities with the way to access deposit schemes using your super now in the resi market. So seems to be like they're opening the lid more and more as time progresses. Mark, like you said, it's a large pot of money that's it's probably not being as utilized as much as what it could.
Our national debt's $2.9 trillion. So what are we doing with all this money? You brought up a little secret there that you need to share with everyone, Josh. How can first home buyers use their super to buy a first home property?
Well, I believe you introduced this idea to me when I was looking through properties for myself, but a salary it's like a sacrifice salary sacrifice through your supermarket. Do you want to elaborate more? Because you actually taught me this little
Oh,
trick.
okay. So guys and girls, if you're a first home buyer and you want to save a deposit faster, allow me to give this example. Um, People are going to have a go at me for using 100 grand as a first home buyer, but I'm just going to use that number because it's round. So $100,000. Normally, your super you have to put 11.5% in, which is $11,500 of your earnings. That's what the government makes you do. But you can voluntarily put in another 10 grand on top. Now, if you put another 10 grand on top, you're sitting in a different tax bracket when it sits in your super as opposed to when it sits in your pocket or your savings account. So you can actually salary sacrifice 10 or 20,000 at a much, much, much lower tax rate, to get around the your income tax, and you can throw it into a separate bucket. So there's your 11.5% bucket, and then there's your voluntary contributions bucket, which all sit inside your super. So you can actually use that money. You can then make an application to government saying, "Hey, I want to just pull out those monies in that bucket as savings. I want to pull that out and use it as a deposit for my first home."
Wow, and like you said, Mark, it's a marginal tax rate that you're paying on those funds, and they've actually calculated it's going to get you to your deposit 30% faster than doing it the traditional way. So definitely a very handy tool to be utilizing in this ever growing market.
It's a whopper. That's a whopper.
Whopper,
So
whopper.
what else? What else are you seeing? So are you seeing people buy residential units in their super, Mister Wapshot?
I'd probably say they tend to be more commercial based from what I've seen so far. I think the idea of your commercial tenants, your annual reviews and things like that. If you're getting a tenant in there for quite a long time, you've got a healthy income there that's growing above CPI. So I really think that it's hit commercial first. Just seeing that return and obviously a recovery in the commercial market. We've sort of seen a phase where the worst has passed that sector, and I really do think we're on the way to a recovery and hopefully a bit of growth and prosperity for the commercial side. So it makes sense why people are positioning themselves there.
What people don't know when they're buying in their super, um, what they don't know is it's quarantined away from them. So people are worried about going to buy a property in their super if they're considering upgrading their home. So what they'll actually do is they'll they go, "Oh, look, I'm not gonna actually do anything at all with an investment property because I really want to do the house first." And often I'd say to people, "Look, you got to realize that if you have a a loan in your super, it's almost like a separate entity or a separate person, and it's treated financially separate. So often, because your deposit needs to be so large when you're buying you need about a 20 or 30% deposit to buy a residential property, cash in your super. And then if you have that, and you don't just have rent coming in, you've got you and your wife potentially, or you 11.5% of your wage slam dunking it. So there's two or three things that are slam dunking a big deposit plus your super money, plus your rent paying it off. So if you're buying a property in your super, most of the time, most if not all of the time, it's actually positively geared, and it's quarantined away from you, so you can actually go and buy another investment property in your personal name or upgrade your family home in your personal name, and it's completely independent from your super.
Yeah, wow, a big factor there. But yeah, definitely have started to see more people come aware of this and sort of starting somewhere small, which is probably why we're seeing the storage units go so hard. But We've been doing that for several weeks, months now, and I haven't really had a week like the previous week with people buying
Really?
multiple, two at a time, three at a time. So I had a gentleman buying three on Friday night, two on Saturday, and then I had a late appointment on 4:30 on the Saturday, and me and the purchaser were speaking all day yesterday, and he decided, look, I'm going to grab two as well. So buyers are out there,
Like just
market's
like hot
active.
dogs. Just like hot dogs. This
Exactly,
kid can sell.
and it's I think it's something that it's at that 200,000, 300,000 level, and you're comparing it to offices per se with the limited outgoings around storage units. I think it really is lightening up to people as a no-brainer, these investments. So I put it to a few things, Mark. Market improving, new ways to buy property, and
Ah, right.
new options.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before we go, hide your Harley from your wife. Storage
Oh,
units.
yes, yes. Some
Um,
special.
can you tell me what's the cheapest property you've ever sold to someone in their super, or for, for people that can buy in their super, how much do they actually need, and what sort of property is sort of what's entry level look like?
Well, entry level down there looks at about 209 plus GST, so circa 220.
Yep.
So quite low. When you think about your usual unit, your average around that 800 to a million mark. So yeah, very
Oh, Mr.
achievable.
Josh, you haven't looked at the new price list.
Well, that's right. Oh, sorry. Yeah. New, we've got 3 to 10 squares. That's right. Hide your Harley. In relation to these new little storage units we've got towards the end of the project we've put together. So very exciting. Where you've got these smaller spaces, 5 meters by 4 meters, guys, and I believe they're starting from around 49,000, making their way up to around that 100 and a half mark, or is it even
There
less,
you
Mark?
go. There you go. That's what it is. Why would you go and rent from someone like Storage King or Kennards when you can just hide the Harley and buy a storage unit?
That's right.
So
And
yeah, they're
and
out there.
Lisa adding in there too. Definitely something I was looking at this morning, guys. I think we're about 620 properties across the northern beaches. When you compare that to this the time of around Christmas 6 months ago, we were sitting about 1,200. So exactly right,
Oh,
Lisa, saying that people are looking for other or new opportunities because stock is so low at the moment. So definitely the a right point to bring out there, Lisa.
snack pack storage. Listen to Lisa. I like people. I like to know people's vote. Do they like hide your Harley from your wife's storage units, or do they like snack pack storage units?
Oh, we've both got
Interesting.
a bit of a ring to it, don't they?
Interesting, interesting. All right, well that's a wrap. That's what's happening out there with Super, Australian Super, guys. That's how big it is. The headline numbers before I go. I love these headline numbers, Josh. 4.2 trillion Super Australian assets. ASX market 2.9 trillion, residential property 11.3 trillion, and household debt $2.6 trillion.
Who could say? Maybe this is the next growth period into the property market, Mark, with all these unlocked funds for purchases.
Boom time. Maybe it's boom time.
Couple that with interest rates, it looks like we're in for an interesting couple of months, years ahead.
Watch this space. Josh, thanks so much, legend, for coming on.
No problem. Thanks, Mark. Thanks,
Take
guys. Have a
care.
great
Take
weekend.
care.